after capturing most of the Arabian Peninsula with the help of the Wahhabi Islamic warriors.
The Wahhabis were fiercely anti-Western. They want to go back in time to a purer Islam that wasn't threatened by the West.
When the Iraqi freedom and the West is an oil producer.
Osama bin Laden offered his services to the royals. He told them he could bring the army from Afghanistan to repel the Iraqi invaders from Kuwait.
But the Saudis had a better one. A $500 million from the United States.
The strict Islamic laws enforced outside of these walls do not apply to genocide.
Osama took the streets and knives and denounced the U.S. royal family and their unfolding media.
Osama bin Laden this week again lashed out at the Saudi royal family.
We were tracking bin Laden since the early 90s. We stripped him of his citizenship.
Is a rather strange substance in many ways. It disrupts metabolic reaction.
Obviously dangerous, those particles.
So if you concentration in the kidney, it will kill you.
And what's the reason of denial?
They don't deal with complicated stories well, and it's a confusing picture, as you've already heard. It's, you know, there's not a very concise message you can get across.
I would imagine they would know. I mean, it's very, it's very much in the public domain that, cluster munitions are now...
If he will kill the cell, or he will make some different process in the DNA.
We will never, ever forget our deaths and the destruction of our houses, our cities, and our world. The mysterious and wrongful identity of uranium ruins the sight, breath, and spirit of humanity and the world in a dreadful way. Uranium usually hides its true stable form from nature and occurs as 3 isotopes, U-234, U-235, and U-238, DU, which is in fact the nuclear waste of uranium enrichment process, mainly takes its radioactive characteristics from the isotope. This isotope, unlike U-234 and U-235, is very unstable and fissionable. This isotope, U-238, is usually in concentrations greater than 99% in natural uranium. U-235 is a less dense form of uranium found in concentrations less than 0.7% in natural uranium. If the concentrations of this isotope are increased through any number of separation techniques, it becomes much more fissionable. If the concentration is above 80%, firing a neutron at it will produce the series of self-sustaining nuclear reactions and large release of energy that is the force behind nuclear weapons. On the other hand, when in concentrations of less than 20%, as in a light water reactor, the chemical reactions slow down the energy can be harnessed. Unfortunately, in the process of separating these more fissionable fuels from natural uranium, much excess is left behind in the form of depleted uranium. For example, producing 1 kilogram of 5% enriched uranium leaves behind 10.8 kilograms of DU.
All cancer patients?
All cancer patients. We have about 26 beds for our pediatric oncology patients. Yeah, most of the time it is fully occupied. This is
here in this room.
8 beds. Usually this bed we keep it for the patient with induction. Are still in the induction phase.
Changing the DNA in these cells, and later on the chromosomes and genes to cause a mutation of these cells, and the cells start to divide quickly and to form a cancer.
First time. We've read about, but we didn't see it during our life.
So there is no doubt that it's dangerous for people, human body and environment, is that right?
Yes, it is dangerous.
Approximately how many patients do you see here every day?
Every day, about between 50 to 80 patients treated as outpatient at the clinic.
Make a comparison between the admission in the last year and such a time was only one case, and now there is a huge amount, plenty of cases. This is all the complaining of the measles, overcrowded hospital because of there is no beds.
No.
So when was the first use of depleted uranium weapons?
And it is said that it was for the first time in large amount in the Gulf War. That started in 1991. And the U.S. forces made an official announcement about the amount used in the Gulf War. And according to their official announcement, they used about 320 tons of the EU in the Gulf War.
Okay.
Then we can make an arrangement.
هيتصل بها المستشفى. مستشفى خيري يقول لي.
I'm not surprised about it. Uranium isotopes show effect on the immune system. It is possible that reduced immune system allows manifestation of the measles to be much higher than in the normal population.
The outbreak of the 1991 Gulf War and its tragic repetition in 2003 in Iraq are among some of the most horrifying tragedies in human history. When we come to understand how and to what extent depleted uranium weapons and uranium bunker buster bombs were used to penetrate into armored munitions and to spread bloodshed during this war, the depth and the extent of these crimes gives us a shudder. During this war, armored vehicles, military equipment and buildings were all targets of DU shells. They caught fire, burned, and after a while, the ashes containing very small DU dust particles spread into the air, water and soil over a wide swathe of land. This included polluting the Persian Gulf and the agricultural lands around it, in addition to the human and animal populations not only in Iraq but also in other countries. Shortly after the end of war, thousands of veterans who returned from the Gulf developed mysterious, unknown symptoms of a pervasive disease which is now referred to as the Gulf War disease. Among others, we can mention Gerald Matthew, a member of the 719 Transportation Company from Harlem, New York, whose participation in this war made him and his family victimized by DU. Medical studies have shown respiration of DU particles in the course of time causes disabilities and severe harms to DNA and mRNA codes of the human brain.
And that's my wife, Janice.
My symptoms started 3 weeks into the place. I started swelling. At that time, I was getting like 70 headaches a month. We knew about the birth defect for when she was 5 months. That's when I started asking questions. In fact, the doctor, the first question he asked me, being that I came back from the war, was I exposed to anything?
It's going to be enough for the government to say, yes, there's DU in Iraq. Tell me there's DU in Iraq. Don't tell me that I'm lying.
So I want my daughter to see what I wore while I was in a hostile environment. That's it. I will never wear it again. Never. Really and truly, as you see it right here, I could throw it on the floor. Because that's how much it's worth to me. I'd rather burn it.
Do you think that those who are using these weapons are aware of the danger of this weapon, the health effect of this weapon, and deliberately using these weapons?
No, there are some documents coming from inside the U.S. forces that shows that they are aware of the danger. But as an official statement, they have been saying that there should be no danger. And that is why even the American soldiers have not been informed about the DU danger.